Welcome, gun runner.
Hello everybody, Kieran aka the Laird here, and I have a new episode of Laird's Lowdown for you. As you can see, I haven't done one of these for ages because I haven't really had anything interesting to talk about or report or anything. I did briefly consider doing one on the announcement from Atari that they were bringing the Golden Tee golf games out on a compilation, because I thought that was quite cool. But I didn't think that would be something that would interest that many people as a video. There wasn't really a lot I could say about it other than I had many pleasurable moments playing Golden Tee when I was quite inebriated, let's just say, in my local pub when I was sort of about 21-ish. 2021. I can remember playing Golden Tee quite a lot against my friends and ripping your palms of your hand on the trackball. Half the memory of it. I'm not sure it will seem so great playing it on an Xbox in the modern day. Half the magic of that game was playing it in the pub with the trackball controller. So yeah, I did briefly consider that, but I decided not to. Just as I'm recording this, some really cool news just dropped, and as soon as I started, right, that's it, I'm making a video about that. The funny thing was, I was actually about to make a video about something else to go up on the channel. And the weird thing is, the other thing that I was going to make a video about is slightly related to this. And there are some little clues around me in terms of what it is I'm going to be talking about, because, you know, there's my wedding gift up here, and there's this little arcade machine sitting here. And I was going to make a video about something Pac-Man related, and I still am, but something very different. Because there's been lots of rumours recently that Atari were going to release a new bit of hardware soon, and everyone was speculating on what that new bit of hardware was going to be. Some people were like, oh yeah, it's going to be a Jaguar Mini, which I didn't think it was going to be. Some people were saying 5200 Mini or Flashback, or whatever you want to call them. I didn't think it was going to be that either. Some people were hoping it would be a 5200 plus. A lot of people said, probably the majority of people speculated it was going to be an Intellivision plus, which I actually did think was a fairly likely scenario that they would bring out an Intellivision, either an Intellivision Flashback or an Intellivision Plus, given they own all of that IP now. It would have seemed like a logical move, and one that probably would have gone down quite well. But they've surprised us all, because that's not what it is at all. It's actually going to be another Atari 2600 Plus, but a special edition one. And I've got a feeling that this might become a theme, and I've got a feeling that they'll do quite a few of these because they know people will buy them because they're collectors. So some people might say cynical cash grab, because do we need another 2600 Plus? Probably not. But a lot of people are going to go, wow, that's so cool, I have to have one. And that's where the good business sense of Atari comes in here, or the good business that they've got now. They didn't used to have that. Because everyone is going to look at this and go, yeah, that's seriously cool. Because the new console is going to be a Pac-Man themed Atari 2600 Plus, which I'm now putting up here in the corner so you can see it in all its glory. And this thing looks amazing. Oh my God, it looks so cool with the Pac-Mans on the front. And this is going to be sold as a pack from what I can understand at the moment. Atari have only just announced it, and they haven't made things completely clear. But there seems to be three elements to it. So the console itself is obviously what they've advertised first, with its cool new design, Pac-Man themed design. All officially licensed from Namco. So it seems they've got a nice relationship going there with Namco to do this, which is really cool, because obviously Atari and Namco have some very close history, because Namco was formed out of the ashes of Atari Japan. Namco ended up owning Atari games in America for many, many years. And for a long time, all the Namco games would be licensed to Atari in America. So that's why so many Namco games appeared on the 2600 originally, like Dig Dug and Pac-Man, etc. And they're bringing some of that stuff back, because there's 4 games shown on this image, which looks like are going to be bundled with it. I assume they are, from looking at it. And these are this is cool because these are all games that Atari, of course, weren't previously able to re-release, because they've been re-releasing a lot of the old 7800 games, because some of them weren't made in very high numbers. And now, because they've got this deal with Namco, they can get these released as well. So we have the 7800 port of Gallagher, which is outstanding. I love it. I mean, there's often an argument over whether the NES version of Gallagher is better or the 7800 version of Gallagher is better. I think the 7800 version of Gallagher is better. Yes, the NES version is probably slightly more accurate, but I think the 7800 version plays a lot better and plays to strengths of the machine. It doesn't have sprite flicker or anything like that as well. It's faster, has less sprite flicker. So I really like the 7800 version of Gallagher. I think it's better than the NES one. And whenever I fire up my 7800 Plus, as I use now, I always play Gallagher. It's just one of those games I always play. And the second game is one of my other favourite 7800 games, because it's Dig Dug, which is an outstanding version. Again, I think it's the best home version of the game from that period. This is much better than the NES version because it doesn't have any sprite flicker. As there's that moment again, because the 7800 has no problem with its sprites. It even sounds good with the music and stuff as well. I love the 7800 version of Dig Dug, so very pleased to see that one there. Then, so I've got it on the screen next to me to remind me what the games were. Xevious, that's obviously another Namco game, so obviously it's Namco themed. So that's another re-released game. I'm not a huge fan of Xevious, I have to say. I know a lot of people like it. I'm not a massive fan. Don't really know what to say about Xevious, really. I mean, it was an iconic shooter. It was sort of quite groundbreaking when it came out, but I think it aged quite badly. I'm not a massive fan, but the 7800 version is very good. It is pretty accurate port, so it's something different to the other games, so that's always good. And the last one in that 4 is not a re-released game of old. It's a re-release for Homebrew that was previously released through Atari Age, and you can probably guess what it is already, because it's Bob DiCrescenzo's amazing Pac-Man collection, which was, I think it was actually the first 7800 homebrew I ever bought. And because I just thought, wow, I've got to have that, and I still play it all the time because it's brilliant. Yeah, it's a brilliant thing to have bundled with that. I think that's amazing that they're bundling that Pac-Man collection in there. Absolutely brilliant, so good, really good. And the last element of this, we've had the console, we've had the games. The last element of this is a series of 2600 joysticks, which there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 of them. I thought there was 5. There's 5, and they're all themed after the ghosts. So up here we've got, I've got my Blinky there. So there's a red one, Blinky. I've got my Clyde, orange Clyde. So there's a Clyde one. There's Inky. So there's an Inky one. There is Pinky, so of course there's a Pinky one. And the last one, which was obviously introduced, was Pac-Man was good old Sue. They thought it was sexist, they better bring a girl into it. Talking of girls, here's my little Rosie, one of my cats. She's decided to come on the video. But yes, the joysticks are brilliant. The 5 joysticks, and apparently there will be collectible joysticks. I assume that you won't get one of those with the console and you'll have to buy them separately. That's what I gather from the post. The post is vague. It just says a range of joysticks to collect. But mind you, actually looking at it, because one of them's yellow, which I assumed was the Sue joystick, but of course that is actually probably Pac-Man, isn't it? They probably haven't got Sue. That's Pac-Man joystick. Yeah, that's me. I didn't think about that. So I bet you the yellow joystick then comes with a machine. So that'll be the yellow one, and then the Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde joysticks will be the ones you have to collect. That'll be what it is. Looking at the picture again next to me, which I'll shove back on the screen as well, so you can have a look. And this silly cat here wants more attention. She's usually quite shy, aren't you? But she doesn't know she's on video. But yeah, that's it. I just thought it was really cool. So I'd love to know what you guys think of this amazingly cool looking Pac-Man 2600. Would you like to see them do more of these? Maybe we'll get a Space Invaders 2600. That would be a cool one to do, wouldn't it? Since that was an iconic game from the system. who knows what else we see. It'd be really cool if they got together with Sega, wouldn't it? That'd be a dream, because there were some really good Sega games released for the 2600 as well. We could dream. I don't think it will happen, but imagine a Sega 2600. That would be awesome. What other special editions could you suggest for them to come up with? Activision, I suppose, seems an obvious one. Whether Microsoft would be up for that, I don't know. But we did just see that collection bought out with all the old Activision games on, didn't we, for Xbox One that I looked at on the channel, the retro classics. So it's possible maybe they would work with Atari and do something like that. They've worked with Atari in the past, because actually many years ago there was a very, very limited edition, a very rare and sought after Atari Xbox, which probably a lot of people don't know about. I'll put a picture of it up here actually if you've never seen it. That was just done as a special thing for an event. Many years back. I'd love one, but they go for insane prices. I think there's only like 20 of them or something stupid like that, but yeah, it's quite cool looking. But that's it really. Yeah, love to know what you think of the Pac-Man 2600. I'd love to know what your suggestions are for other special edition 2600 plus consoles they could do. And yeah. And there's more, because it turns out that I literally just finished recording what you've just watched. Sat down at the computer to edit it all and get it on the channel. Flicked back to Facebook to see that Atari had dropped even more news related to what I just talked about. So I thought, for God's sake, let's get the camera and the stand out again, and we'll tack it onto this end of this video and talk about it, because it all goes together. So not just have they got together with Namco to do this amazing Pac-Man 2600 plus edition, and the re-releases of the 7800 games to go with it, etc. They're also dropping a new DLC for Atari 50 that adds, yes, you guessed it, the Namco stuff. And not just Namco stuff, it also is going to chronicle the story of Pac-Man, including that infamous 2600 version, with interviews from people from Atari. You'll see Nolan Bushnell in the trailer, and funnily enough, Nolan Bushnell talks about Atari Japan becoming Namco in that trailer. So it's funny that I mentioned that, then went back and watched that trailer, and there's Nolan talking about it. So I'll drop the trailer at the end of this video so you can see it if you haven't already, but I'll drop it there so you can see it all. Yeah, he talks about the whole relationship between Atari and Namco. It shows a bit of Pac-Man, hints at some of the other games like Galaxian 2600. It talks about it very briefly. On the thumbnail it shows Dig Dug as well. So yeah, so we're certainly getting those. We're certainly getting Galaxian, Gallagher on it. And it shows different versions of Pac-Man, so it looks like we're getting the Atari 8-bit 5200 version on there as well. So it'll be interesting to see what else that includes in there as well, because there's a few more Namco games that Atari licensed, so it could maybe include Pole Position, for example, and Pole Position 2, which is on the 7800. So it'll be interesting to see if they stick those games in there, or anything else. You never know what surprises they might have up their sleeve. But yeah, it certainly doesn't show Pole Position on the thumbnails or anything at all. It's not mentioned in any of the text that Atari have dropped. It would seem strange to omit Pole Position, considering it was a Namco game. Atari released it in the West. It was on both the 2600 and the 7800 and Atari 8-bit actually. And in fact, the Atari 8-bit version is quite famous because you might remember it was in the film Daryl, which was a bit of a classic that I remember from my childhood. But yeah, it's exciting to get more DLC for Atari 50. Always exciting to get that. And getting Pac-Man onto Atari 50, I think, is a big thing. Very, very big thing. Great to see. So let's maybe hope that Space Invaders might come sometime in the future as well, which I think is good to get some Taito stuff on there. But yeah, that's definitely it now. This video has now been a little bit longer than I was expecting, but it's still too long, is it? But I had to get that news in there. So I'll bid you farewell, and I'll leave you with the amazing little trailer for Atari 50 Namco DLC, which will whet your appetite a bit. As always, thank you for watching, and let me know what you think of this trailer, as well as the other stuff that I've talked about, when that's finished down below. Thank you.
We had Atari Japan that we ended up selling to Namco. Atari Japan actually put Namco in the video game business.
Attack formation. Wings ready, sir. Okay, I'm peeling off. Cover me.
You're watching television, somebody's playing a video game, they have an Xbox controller, it doesn't matter what they have, but what do you hear when you're watching it? You hear Pac-Man.
You hear this Pac-Man.
You hear this Pac-Man.
The arcade hit, now for the Atari 2600 system.
I mean, this is really the breakthrough video game that went from games selling 100,000 to it sold 10 million.